Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Kelvin here. One day, Xiaomi asked his dad for 1 Bitcoin for his birthday. Then his dad replied, "What? $15,554? $14,335 is a lot of money, boy. Why do you need $18,895, huh?" If you don't get that joke, that's how fast the price of Bitcoin moves. Just like the weather in Singapore. Anyway, I was trying to buy Bitcoin the other day. So I went to my best friend, Google, and I asked him, "Hey, how to buy Bitcoin in Singapore, ah?" And surprisingly, the results weren't so obvious because the articles were mostly outdated. So I did what I did best and I went down the research rabbit hole to find out how to buy Bitcoin in Singapore. So in this video, I'll share with you everything that I found out so you don't have to waste your time. I'll show you which is the best exchange to buy Bitcoin, where should you keep it, and things to take note. I'll give you a quick step-by-step guide on how to buy Bitcoin, just in case you are a blur sotong and don't know what to do. So without further ado, let's start. Before I tell you where to buy Bitcoin, let's answer a very simple question, which should be very obvious, but I was too noob to understand this, which is, why don't you use your existing broker to buy Bitcoin instead? For example, Tiger Brokers allows you to buy Bitcoin futures, CME Bitcoin. And if you search in TradingView, they move in correlation to one another. So why not use your existing broker to buy Bitcoin and be done with it then? The short answer is, it is same but different. Like my cancel t-shirt, it looks like the real deal, but I bought it using $5 from a pasar malam in Malaysia. That kind was same but different. Now for the long answer, Bitcoin itself is a currency, right? When you buy a currency, you hope to be able to transfer it around and use it whenever you want, right? Most of your normal brokers like Target Brokers, Interactive Brokers, DBS Standard Chartered allows you to buy some sort of Bitcoin derivative. But they are not Bitcoin. You can't really use it. And second, they don't allow you to transfer Bitcoin around. It's like our CPF. You can see it, but you cannot touch it. Jokes aside, that's why you need to use a special exchange or marketplace instead of your traditional brokers, because those exchanges will allow you to buy and transfer your Bitcoin to somewhere else. Okay, now let's talk about the exchange. I've went to compare 8 of the more popular exchanges to find the best rates, namely Binance.sg, Binance.com, CoinHardcore, Coinbase, Gemini, FTX.com, and BlockFi. And here's the result. Let's look at the transaction fees and withdrawal fees first. You may notice that some of the exchange charge very low trading fees, and some don't even have withdrawal fees. But that doesn't really matter too much. Instead, the more important number you should see is the exchange rate. Because when you are buying Bitcoin, you are actually just converting your SGD, USD, or fiat money into Bitcoin. And just like any money changer in Singapore, there are exchanges which give super good conversion rates, and there are those which give sibei bad rates. And what I found was this: Binance.sg gives the best rates, followed by Binance.com and so on. And the worst rate is BlockFi. That means by buying through Binance.sg or Binance.com, you will actually get more Bitcoin. And don't think that this is just a small amount, because this actually has a butterfly effect. Imagine that you get the extra 0.0001 Bitcoin, and in 10 years time, the Bitcoin value went up to $1 million per Bitcoin. And because of that 0.0001 Bitcoin, you can now afford a condo at Sentosa. Now, I'm not saying that it will definitely happen, I'm just saying, imagine. If you are in Singapore, it's best to use Binance.sg to buy. However, Binance.sg relies on Xverse to transfer money in. Just in case you do not know, Xverse is something like PayPal, where you can deposit money in, then transfer to anywhere around the world. So for Xverse, the government caps the annual spending limit at $30,000 a year. That means you are unable to buy more than $30,000 worth of Bitcoin in Binance.sg every year. But if you find yourself maxing out that $30,000, it means that you are either a rich Saudi prince or you are just YOLOing your entire life savings into Bitcoin. Either way, good for you. So anyway, if you max out that $30,000 transaction limit for the year, you can use the second best exchange, which is Binance.com. Just a quick tip, if you need to use Binance.com, the best way is to use a credit card to buy, and it's best to buy it with USD. However, we all know that the normal credit card gives a very lousy rate. The best way is to use a Revolut card to convert your SGD into USD, then use USD to buy in Binance.com. That's because Revolut is able to convert your currency at a super good rate. Take for example, right now in Google, 1 SGD is equal to 0.75 USD, and in Revolut, it is also 1 SGD to 0.75 USD. Before I move on, just in case you need referral codes for the exchanges or Revolut, I'll leave all my referral codes down in the description below. Otherwise, you can just ask your friend for the code if you have. So that settles where to buy. Next, where to keep your Bitcoin. Depending on where you keep your Bitcoin, you have different benefits. First of all, if security is your concern, like if you are worried that your Bitcoin can be stolen, you should transfer your Bitcoin out into something called a cold storage. By cold storage, I do not mean the atas grocery where only rich people go. By cold storage, I mean offline storage. That way, no one can hack the exchange and steal your Bitcoins. But you just have to be careful that you don't accidentally lose your cold storage, like this guy. The best way you can get a cold storage is to buy from ledger.com. It doesn't matter which you buy, but it's best you get it directly from the website itself, instead of buying secondhand or from third party, just in case the device is tampered with. That's for cold storage. Now, let's talk about keeping your Bitcoin at the exchange. Obviously, no exchange is secure. For example, Binance was actually hacked in 2019, and it's just one of them. There are actually a lot of hacks happening every now and then, as you can see. But you may say, if kena hack, they'll have to compensate us ma? Yes, they do. For example, Binance has a secure asset fund for users. If somehow their cryptos are stolen, Binance will use the money in the fund to pay back to the users. Like in the 2019 hack, they have to refund 40 million back to the users. However, what if the hackers stole so much that Binance cannot actually pay back? Then you won't get back anything lor. This is entirely different for stockbrokers like Interactive Brokers, which are protected by SIPC up to 500k. So if your stock brokerage is hacked, and your Tesla share got stolen, you know that you can still get back your money. Now that you know that storing your Bitcoin online has a risk of being stolen, let's take a look at where you can put your Bitcoin and at the same time, pray that it never gets hacked. First of all, if you bought your Bitcoin in Binance.sg, there's no benefit to keeping your Bitcoin there. So let's look at where you should transfer your Bitcoin to. If you transfer your Bitcoin to Binance.com, you can earn a bit of interest. Right now, the interest rate is 1.2%. But it will change every once in a while. The second option is to transfer to Crypto.com. If you transfer your Bitcoin here, you are also able to earn more interest on your Bitcoin. If you invest in their crypto coin or CRO, you will get an even higher interest rate. Personally, I don't see the point to invest in CRO just to get a higher interest rate. You should invest in CRO only if you believe that its value will go up in the future. That's one more benefit to putting your money in Crypto.com. You will get a debit card for you to spend your Bitcoin. This card is totally free. You don't need to pay anything for the card, and there's no transaction fee when you use it. Depending on how much CRO you have, you will get different benefits. Like if you invest in 25,000 CRO, you will get a free Netflix account. Awesome! But with that being said, I suspect that this is just a temporary offer. They can just change the deal anytime they want, so don't be attracted to their free stuff. Next, you have Coinbase. They also have a debit card where you can use your Bitcoin, but their card has tons of fees, so I would recommend you not to use them. Last but not least, you have BlockFi. If you store your Bitcoin with them, you will get an annual interest of 6%, which is seriously super high, especially if you compare it to our so-called high interest savings account, but give a super low interest rate. But how BlockFi is able to give such a high interest leh? That's because they lend out the cryptos and they charge a super high interest rate to the borrowers. A bit like our Singapore Along, but of course not as high as them lah. Then in return, they pass on some of the earnings to you. Currently, I'm keeping my Bitcoin with BlockFi, but when the amount is large enough, I'll be transferring my Bitcoin into a cold storage. That was where to keep your Bitcoin. Now, I'll give a super quick tutorial on how to buy Bitcoin. I'm using Binance.sg, so I will just demo with Binance.sg. The first thing you need to do is to transfer your money into Xverse. So go into account, then under Xverse, choose top up. If you need a more detailed info, you can click I need more information. But basically, you need to create a top up request here, then go to your bank to transfer money to Xverse. So for me, I just need to click my bank account, then enter in how much I want to top up. Click next, confirm. Then here, they will give you the payee name, bank and account number to transfer to. Then you have to go to your bank to transfer your money over. I'm using DBS, so I will just show it in DBS. Click on transfer to another bank's account. For paying to, choose add new or select existing recipient. For the recipient's name, copy paste the recipient's name from the instruction just now. Recipient's bank, then copy paste the recipient's account number over. Choose your account, then enter in the same amount that you had entered in Binance.sg just now. When you are done, go back to Binance.sg, then click I have transferred. then wait a while for your money to arrive. Your money should arrive within a few minutes. So let's fast forward by a few minutes.
20 minutes later.
So the money has arrived. In Binance.sg, click on buy, sell. Here you just choose I want to buy Bitcoin and specify how much HUD you want to use. After that, they will show you the fee and how much Bitcoin you'll be getting. Make sure S first is selected, then click buy Bitcoin. And congratulations, you are now a proud owner of Bitcoin. Next, you want to send your Bitcoin to someone else, so your Bitcoin don't just sit there and do nothing like a lazy bum bum. So for sending Bitcoin, it's pretty simple. You go to account and Bitcoin, click send. Here, you will need to get the receiver's address. Since I'm using BlockFi, I just go to BlockFi to get the address. I just click on deposit Bitcoin, then click on the copy button to copy the address. I go back to Binance.sg and paste the address here. You have to make sure that you are pasting the correct address, because if it's the wrong address, or if there's even an extra space, you might be sending to the wrong place and you can just say sayonara to your Bitcoin. So that was a quick guide on how to buy and transfer your Bitcoin. Lastly, I want to remind you a few things. First, as mentioned earlier, your Bitcoin is not SIPC insured. So if it is stolen, it is as good as gone. Second, set a very strong password for your Bitcoin exchange. Don't use password 123 or donkey for your password. Use a password generator if needed. Third, enable two-factor authentication. At the very least, use SMS authentication, or even better, use Google authentication, which is much more secure. So that was a quick summary on how to buy Bitcoin in Singapore. Hopefully this video helps you out a little. Comment down below, let me know if you have any questions or what other tutorials you want me to make. Like, share and subscribe, as I'll be posting every Monday and sometimes Friday.